Best day ever motivation. There are days we wake up believing it will be just another ordinary day. The same alarm clock. The same coffee. The same faces, routines, and expectations. It's a rhythm so familiar, we rarely stop to think, what if today could be the turning point? Great days, the kind you look back on and say, that's when everything changed, don't announce themselves. They whisper. They nudge. And yet, every single detail of the day matters. A decision. A thought. A conversation. Each one a thread in a tapestry we rarely realize we're weaving. But what if today, this very moment, is offering you a choice? This isn't just another story, it's the story of discovering the extraordinary hidden in the ordinary. A story of resilience, decisions, and the unstoppable power of the human spirit. Part 1, The Ordinary Beginning. The day begins like any other. For Marilyn, it's the soft hum of her alarm at 6 a.m. She stirs, glancing at her phone. The calendar is packed. Meetings. Deadlines. Errands. The day feels like an uphill climb before it even starts. She makes her coffee, scrolling through headlines. The world feels heavy. The same problems. The same challenges. But here's the thing, Marilyn doesn't know yet that today is different. Not because the world will suddenly change, but because of a decision she's about to make. Meanwhile, across the city, Daniel is pacing in his studio apartment. He's been stuck in a creative rut for weeks, his sketchpad blank. Every fiber of him wants to give up, to let today blur into yesterday's frustrations. But something, a faint glimmer of possibility, urges him to pick up the pencil, just for a moment, to see where it might take him. And then there's Mike, standing at a bus stop, clutching a job application. He's filled with doubt. What's the point? He wonders. They probably won't even call. He shifts his weight, almost turning back, but he doesn't. He gets on the bus, unaware that this seemingly small decision will ripple through his life in ways he can't yet imagine. And then there's Mike, standing at a bus stop, clutching a job application. He's filled with doubt. What's the point, he wonders. They probably won't even call. He shifts his weight, almost turning back, but he doesn't. He gets on the bus, unaware that this seemingly small decision will ripple through his life in ways he can't yet imagine. The first shift. For Marilyn, it happens when she steps outside during lunch. The sun is brighter than she expected. She pauses, letting the warmth soak in. A child laughs nearby, chasing a kite. For the first time in days, she notices something simple and beautiful. She smiles. It's small, but it's enough to shift her mood. She decides to take a longer route back to work, her mind lighter, clearer. Daniel's breakthrough is less subtle. Frustrated, he makes a wild stroke across the page, a moment of surrender. But when he steps back, he sees something unexpected in the chaos. A pattern. An idea. The sketch begins to take shape, and with it, his confidence. He doesn't know yet, but this is the beginning of his most celebrated work. For Mike, the shift is quieter. At the job interview, he fumbles his words, but something in his sincerity resonates with the interviewer. They tell him, "We'll let you know." It's not a guarantee, but as Mike steps out of the office, he feels proud. He showed up. He tried. For the first time in weeks, he feels hope. Facing the conflict. Great days aren't smooth sailing, they test us. Marilyn returns to her desk to find an email that shakes her. A major project is behind schedule, and the blame falls squarely on her. For a moment, her resolve falters. She feels the familiar weight of stress creeping back in. But then she remembers that lunch break, the laughter, the sunlight. She takes a deep breath and begins crafting a plan. For Daniel, the challenge comes late at night. He's nearly finished with his sketch when he spills ink across the page. Months ago, this would have crushed him. But today, he sees it differently. He turns the accident into an opportunity, incorporating the ink into his design. What once felt like failure now feels like innovation. And for Mike, the conflict is internal. Days pass without a call. Doubt seeps in. But instead of giving up, he decides to focus on what he can control. He spends his mornings volunteering at a local shelter, finding purpose in helping others while he waits. The moment of clarity. Marilyn's project is completed ahead of schedule, earning her recognition from her team. She realizes it wasn't the sunlight or the laughter alone, it was the decision to hold on to that moment of joy and carry it into her work. Daniel's artwork is showcased at a gallery, earning him praise and reigniting his passion. As he stands before his finished piece, he reflects on the chaos that birthed it and the courage it took to embrace the process. Mike gets the call, he's hired. But more than the job, it's the confidence he's gained, the belief that showing up, even when it's hard, makes all the difference. The shelter invites him to continue volunteering, and he realizes his best days are those where he serves others. The best day ever. For Marilyn, Daniel, and Mike, their best days didn't start with fanfare or certainty. They began with small choices, moments of courage, and the willingness to see the extraordinary in the ordinary. And now, the choice is yours. What will you make of today? Will you wait for greatness to find you, or will you step forward and create it? Because the truth is, the best day ever isn't out there waiting. It's already here. It begins with you.